Kaf Ajanoun, desert Algerian version of Mordor. The haunted natural rock fortress of Nun, also known as the legendary Fortress of Ghosts, or the Cave of the Jinn, is located in the southern region of Libya, about 25 kilometers north of Gat. It is bordered by Wadi Tanazaft along the east, and the Algerian border from the west. The Idanun summit is about 1,280 meters high and is an offshoot of the mountain nearby. The trail from the Algerian border side, from Megadet to Gat, allows an excellent view of this strange mountain. In fact, Megadet itself is also the home of some bizarre rock formations of massive sculptures of devilish figures that can be easily associated with this mountain. As a German tourist who traveled to more than 43 countries around the world with a strong hunger to explore supernatural phenomenon, this is a topic that is of great personal interest to me. But as a foreigner, I find it extremely hard to go around the area alone, especially after hearing all of those creepy and scary stories of events that happened over there, and yet nobody has ever managed to give a rational explanation. A key thing to recognize is that in that part of the world, locals lead simple and religious mysticism lives of traditional Saharan nomads. They do not sensationalize the supernatural. They do not have the Western concept of being famous or making money out of celebrity. And the existence of jinn is a given and a source of great fear to them. What I will tell is based on my personal experience and what I was told by a sheikh, a Tuareg gentleman, patriarch who showed me great kindness and hospitality while I was in Algeria. The name is based on the centuries-long held belief that it is inhabited by jinn. The Tuareg give it a very wide berth as they travel past it. And even during local wars and conflicts, it is completely avoided. During the recent Libyan civil war, apparently gunmen from a fundamentalist militia piled up into a 4x4 vehicle and headed to the heights to prove that the legend wasn't real. And to this very day, none of them ever showed up again. Nobody dared to go look for them or the vehicle. One night after my meal, my dear host, a sheikh, and I were sitting outside the pavilion for tea and dates, and I saw the mountainous ridge that was standing there in the middle of the flat Saharan nothingness, and asked him if we would be able to go see it during the day, as it looked interesting. It was then that he told me what I was looking at, and why my request is not possible. I have added some of the conversation we had that night as I can best remember it. I asked him, "So people here do believe that the calf is haunted?" He replied, "I know that you Westerners think that it is just stories, but you will not find any Tuareg man to take you there. The Janoun do not like children of Adam straying into their land, and only great harm would come out of it." I said, "Is there some kind of exorcism or religious ritual that can be done? Something that would drive them out?" He laughed. "These are not ghosts or the bad spirits that you see in movies. The mountain that has been their lair since before people came, and you will not frighten them out by being holy. They accepted that from Sidna Solomon, but they will not heed any other son of Adam. God commanded us to leave that world, and if you disobey him, ritual will not help you. I was curious. And it doesn't make any difference whether you go there by day or night? He replied. If it's dangerous by day, how can it be safe by night? It is crazy to go there after sunset anyway, because you don't know where you're going and might end up going a way you shouldn't, by mistake. We think they venture further down the mountain, all the way to the Wadi Standing Stones at that time, seeking intruders. Have you ever seen any of them yourself? I asked. He replied, once, when I was a young man. I was herding our camels when I returned with his favorite female, who was also pregnant at the time, was missing. It was getting late and approaching night, but I was afraid of my father and also worried about the female and giving birth out there, so I went back to look for her. I found her tracks and they were leading straight to the mountain. I was so afraid I was shaking, and I hurried to catch up to her, hoping I'd reach her before the night comes or she gets too close. But both these things happened by the time I actually found the female. The mountain was so close it looked like a wall that went up into the sky. I led her away as fast as I could. I remember the sweat freezing against my skin, making me shake worse. I turned around to look at the female, and I saw eyes like those of a cat when a light hits them. Except there was no light, and the glint was almost yellow. They were bobbing up higher than the female's hump and down almost to the sand as they follow us. And I started to think. I hear what sounded like a growling rattle, almost like a hyena's laugh, but very, very low. I began to scream and curse at the female to move faster and did not look back until I finally got to the pavilion. I'm sure that Ifrit would have killed me if I wanted to. I will never go near that ridge again. I will die first. So this was the conversation about that subject, as I remember it. After I was there for a couple more days, I went hiking around by myself to take pictures and the like. And I was accidentally getting probably closer to the mountain than a sheaf would have probably liked. Just before sunset, I took a picture. Now I'm a mod here, and I'm not saying that this is something or another, or even real. That is up to you. All I want to point out is that if you consider the scale, whatever that is in the shot next to the standing boulder by the castle is beyond man size.